experienced the poof. This is Chris Biffle. I disappeared for a second. We're coming back to you live. This is the beginning of our program. Let me just adjust my screen. I'm getting better week after week in screen adjustment. I'm going to move a couple of things out of the way and bring a couple of things to the foreground. And here we go. So, we're going to get started here. Lorelei, Sally from New Hampshire. Program is now starting, my friends. I'm Chris Biffle. Here's what I look like. I'm broadcasting today from Palmdale, California, in the Oxford Suites Motel. I'm here in Palmdale, going around helping teachers with whole brain teaching. And today's program is all about the Super Improvers Wall. Super Improvers Wall. If you know something about the Super Improvers Wall, you can, anytime that you wish. You have any questions, just text them in. And the names in red are the names that will help you answer the questions. If you're not watching the program live, then you can't text in any questions, but it's still going to be available for professional development credit. Let's just talk about professional development credit briefly. At the end of the broadcast, I'll tell you how to get professional development credit and how to have a PDF of all of the slides. This is program 503. 503 is important. You don't have to write it down. I'll bring it up later, but it'll help you get professional development credit for the program Super Improvers. All right, let's go. What's the Super Improvers Wall? That's the question. That's Mr. Franklin, in case you don't recognize him. And Biffy B says, must be something motivating. So if you know anything about the Super Improvers Wall, let us know what you know. We're going to tell you, here in a nutshell, is what the Super Improvers Wall is. Here's our slide that tells us all about it. The Super Improvers Wall rewards individual students for progress in any classroom activity. So we're not talking about a grade once a week or a report that they do every 6 weeks. We're talking about anything that kids do in the classroom that they're making progress on. You can detail it on the Super Improvers Wall. And Nikki from Texas, I'll bet you really like the idea of that. Here's Mrs. Connerly. Jeepers, what does the Super Improvers Wall look like? Well, Mrs. Connerly, let me show you what it looks like. Here it is, my friends. Super Improvers Wall, you put every kid's name on the wall. Bill, Tasha, Tom, Maria, Juan, and Dee Dee. Put every kid's name on the wall. That's my first point. I think that's pretty simple, but if you got any questions, type them in. Every kid's name goes up on the wall. You got to make space for the Super Improvers Wall. Seeing if there's any questions. There don't seem to be. That's very, very simple. Now, here's the next step. This step is also very simple. You include a color code beside the wall. Now, you can include any colors you want. Just be sure you got 10 of them. 10 colors are going to be important. So very, very simple. Every kid's name and a color code. But there's an obvious question. Here's what you do. How do you get it going? You explain to your class that the Super Improvers Wall is to reward students who improve. Improvement can be in any classroom activity, from lining up to handing out papers to reading to writing, anything. Now here's where I throw it open to you, my friends. Tell me some classroom activities that go on all the time that you want to reward kids for improving on. Well, everything they do, you want them to improve on. But tell me, what are some things that you want to reward kids for improving on? We got someone from Dallas, someone from the Poconos. Remembering Rule 2. Yes, that's a good thing to improve on. 61 viewers. Restroom behavior. Yes, Alisong, we can improve on that. Looking at me when I teach. Picking up right away. Fluency. Index cards. Putting their name and number on their work. Super speed game time. Homework. Yes. Okay, now listen to me. Whenever I have a big point, you know what I do. I take off my glasses. Yes, the glasses are coming off now. So we're teaching. And the truth is, we want our kids to constantly improve. And we don't want to scold. But we want something that's better than, oh, Johnny, that's a good job. Oh, Maria, how quickly you got your book open. We want a structure that continuously encourages improvement, that's woven through everything we do. That's the beauty of the Super Improvers Wall. Now my big point is over. I put my glasses back on. It is so nice to be able to see, my friends. Let's look at our next screen. Emphasize as strongly as possible that students are not competing against each other, but against themselves. You want to create a growth mindset, Brian Butera. You are so right. So you're going to tell them this story. Here's the story you tell them. I'm going to bring up the screen. And I'm going to get my picture out of the way. Very difficult to get the picture out of the way. I'm going to move the screen up a little bit because you may not be able to see that bottom line. Yeah. Move this down a little bit. There you go. I'll bet you like that better. Here's the story. The Super Improvers story. Two students have a foot race. The faster student wins and she gets an A from the teacher. The slower student loses and gets an F. Every day they have the same race. Every day the result is the same. Yeah. What an awful race. After a while, the fast student loafs and the slow student quits. Of course. The grading system is unfair and doesn't motivate either kid. Are you getting my drift here? Here's the rest of the story. The teacher creates a new race. Now the fast student only gets an A when she beats her previous best time. Same for the slow student. Now, each student always runs as hard as possible. What is the moral? The only fair race is the one you run against yourself. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Here's the big point. Have a grading system. You know the truth. A kid that comes in at a D or an F, it's amazing if they move up one grade. A kid that's an A or B, they got to have some disaster going on in their family for them to move down. So kids stay at the level that they come in at. That's not personal growth. That's not what we want to foster in education. That's an education caste system, like they had in ancient India. You're born into a level and baby, you stay there. That's what grades do. We got to have grades. I'm not against grades, but let's have something else. Here's what Mrs. Connerly asks. How does the Super Improvers Wall reward kids for self-competition? And Biffy B says, great question. Good old Biffy B. Let's look at it. In the first week or so, when you see dramatic improvement by any student in any class activity, put a star by the student's name. Have the class cheer for the improving student. Let's see how that would look. Why, Bill has got 2 stars and Tasha's got 1. Tom's got 1, Juan's got 1, Dee Dee has got 3 stars. Oh, that Dee Dee, she's just improving all over the place. What do we want a reward for? Let me come back on camera here. What do we want a reward for? For passing the bar that the student sets for themselves. Here's Bill. Bill opens his book pretty slowly, and he takes an awful long time to get to the right page. But one day, wow, Bill's getting that book open. He's getting to the right page. Bill, you're improving. That's a star for you. My friends, tell me now some things that just happen all the time in the classroom you'd like to be able to give a quick, easy, and important point. Glasses come off. Quick, easy, and free reward for. Tell me some things you want a reward for. Tomorrow, what are you going to reward for? Come on, tell me. I'll read those answers. When they help someone, yes. Gotta love free, says Alisong. What do we want to reward for? Let's look at that screen again. Lining up, getting started right away. That's right, EduCarp. Sharing with their neighbors. Putting papers away neatly. Good hall walking. Not quitting before even trying. Following directions. Staying awake in class. Saying something kind. Rule 2. Peter Ramos, you've got it. Taking risks. Oh, making eye contact. Really important eye contact. Let's keep going, my friends. I think you are really with me. Heather and Palmdale, tell me how many viewers I got when you got a chance. Mirroring partners with big gestures. That's Indio Justine. All right, here's our next screen. When students get the idea of earning stars, shift your reward to goals you post on the board. To keep the activity fresh, goals can change every few days. It's your classroom. So if you want your kids to focus on some particular things, put the goals on the board. You want to keep it loose and goosey? That's okay. Just reward for whatever you want to reward for. But now you have a system where the kids are in the mindset of personal improvement, of getting somewhere. Now here's step 2. Here's some goals that you might think about. Following rule 1, 2, or 3. Or making a visible improvement in your writing neatness. Or shattering a record in a super speed game. Or bettering a previous grade on a spelling test. Or increasing fluency in oral writing, which we talked about last week. Or a great string of 3-star homeworks, which we talked about 2 weeks ago. Those are the biggies. All right, so now let's just focus here for a second, my friends. So we can give awards for whatever we want, little stuff, big stuff, but now just think about what are the big things that kind of slip through the cracks of the grading system that really are important to a kid's learning that we want to reward for. Help each other out. What are the biggies that we really want to note when kids are doing that special thing that is so important for their progress? 3-star max, you really have to look at the homework thing from last week. Mr. Ramos, effort. Organization, yes. Effort, says Deirdre. Effort in all they do, that's right. And we can see effort. We can see it in their face. We can see it in their gestures. We can hear it in their voice. We can see it in their eye contact. We can see it in how neatly they're writing. Effort, yes. You're giving me so much more effort today, Juan. I see it in your eye contact, man. Keep it up. That's a star for you. Let's hear it for Juan. What about the kid who always gets 100%? You know what, my friends? This is another huge point. You know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? I'm taking off my glasses. So here you got this wonderful model student, always gets 100%. If you can't figure out a way for that kid to improve, there's a problem with the teaching system there. You got a 4th grader and there aren't some things that you can figure out that child can do better? Of course there are. You got daily writing? Give them more complex writing tasks. You have them teaching each other? Let's have some bigger gestures. Why? When we use gestures, let's use a prop when we use those gestures. We have 10 different brain toys that kids can use. Are they getting better at the brain toys? Wherever that child is, they can go higher. Great kid, you still got a long way to go. You're not in college yet, and if you're in college, you're my student, I can still figure out some things you can improve on because you're the student. You're the one who's there to learn. So yeah, for any kid, we can improve. Reading speed. Oh, you can read 120 words a minute on this easy set of words? Let me give you some academic vocabulary. Let's see what your reading speed is now. You can always increase reading speed and math fluency. Got me? I'll put my glasses back on. Guided reading levels, 72 viewers, that's fantastic. Brain toys, all right. My friends, we are rolling along all across the United States. Super Improvers Wall. Here's our next screen. This is what you're burning to know. How does the color code on the Super Improvers Wall work? Here's the answer. When students get 10 stars, change the color of their name. Oh, yeah. Let's look at that. Bill went from white to blue. Tasha and Tom and Juan are still at 1 star, white. Dee Dee, she went up to blue also. The next level up in a color. That's what the color code does. Let's think about that. Here is Mrs. Connerly. Let's see what Mrs. Connerly has to say. She says, that's so cool. I can imagine kids saying, I'm a blue, but if I get a few more stars, I'll be a red. Yay! Can you see your kids digging this? Just going up in colors? If you say, here's the level, then that's the level. White suddenly becomes the bottom, and blue is better than white, and red is better than blue. I'm getting somewhere. That's what kids lack so much in education. They don't feel like they're getting anywhere. And usually they're only getting somewhere if they're getting the good grades. No, not the Super Improvers Wall. Everybody can get somewhere. Just do better than you've done. That's differentiation. One standard for every kid is a crummy standard. But each kid setting their own standard, that's a beautiful, motivating standard. In fact, that's American. That's the way it should be. I'm getting a little excited here, and I even left my glasses on. You can choose your own colors. That's right, Alison. How often do you do the Super Improvers Wall? Whenever you want to, but quite a few times a day you should be throwing out the colors. Because if you've got 10 colors and 10 stars, that's 100 improvements per year. It is an everyday thing. Don't you want your kids to improve? Don't you want to be rewarding them every day? Of course you do. 75 viewers says Gonkama, good to have you on board. One of our favorite viewers. Let's look at the screen, my friend. So if there are 10 colors on the wall, and it takes 10 stars to advance one color, then the Super Improvers Wall can record 100 improvements for every kid. So itty-bitty improvements, great big improvements, you've got plenty of room to grow on the Super Improvers Wall. And it doesn't cost a nickel. And kids keep moving on up. I wonder what Mrs. Connerly would say about that. In a 180-day school year, that's more than 1 star every 2 days. Yes, Peter Ramos, you said wow, all in capitals. I can tell you're beginning to get the idea, Mr. Ramos. That's right. The challenge is monitoring improvements of 32 students. Rand, what I would say is, when you go home at night, think about your kids. You know which kids going in the next day that you're going to look for because you've seen improvements. Kind of you're going to be planning this in advance. You know, I think that the teacher should put the star next to the name. Let me explain why I think so. So here I am, I'm the teacher. I got the kids' names up here. If I say to a kid, you can get up and put a star up there, the kid gets up, the kid walks up, the kid puts the star, the kid walks back, takes too long. Maria, great job. Here's a star. Everybody give a cheer for Maria. We're under the gun here. Every second is precious. So yeah, you do it, it's faster. Very good, Rand. My students can't reach them all. That's right. They can't. Educarp, it does. Your own stars is better. I have it at the front of the room to easily reach with a marker. What if they make the top color? Oh, Kristen. 100 improvements? Add some more colors. Add metallic paper. But we've got something for those kids who are getting way up there. All right, let's keep going. I love the way you folks are thinking. You're really thinking ahead. But let me say this. But wait, it gets better. Isn't that an amazing slide I did there? And that's just with crayons. Really sharp crayons. But isn't it wonderful what you can do with crayons? All right. After students have advanced several color levels, bring in a camera. Give me an O. Take a photo of your most improving child as she advances to a new color. Encourage her to make silly faces with her friends in the photo. Yeah, let's think about the photo. Here we go. When the photo is developed, bring it in, but don't show anyone the picture. Put the photo face to the wall on the Super Improvers wall. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You know what it's time for. It's time for the glasses to come off. Listen to me, my dear friends. You come in with a camera right away, you got the kids eating out of your hand. You've got the top student. She's already up there at green. You say, Tasha, why don't you go scan with your friends and make a silly face? I'll take your picture. Oh, yeah, they're loving that right there. Then you come in with the picture. You don't show it to Tasha. Au contraire, mon frère. You take the picture and you put it on the wall, face to the wall. How is Tasha going to get that picture turned around? You tell me. How's she going to get the picture turned around? I bet you know. Glasses back on. 82 viewers, says Gonkama. They'll be dying to see the picture. 10 stars, more stars, gain another level. 10 more, get to the next level. Now, let me say this. This is our first year we've done this, so we need some experimenting. I feel like when we get to the photo level, you could require 10 more stars, but man, you've really got them in the palm of your hand already. Here's what I suggest. See if you agree with me, yes or no. I'm just thinking, that child will do anything to have that photo turned around, true, but as a special bonus to photo kids, only 5 stars are needed to turn any photo around. What do you think? Give me some feedback. Should we stick to the 10 stars all the way up the ladder? That gives us 100 improvements. But if we're starting to use the photo, do we cut them a little bit of slack and only need 5 stars to turn around? What do you think? 5 stars or 10 stars? Should we be consistent or have something special for the photo? I'm going to read your answers. Deidre likes 5. Yeah. Rand says 5. 5 sounds great. Floyd says, yeah, more kids will work that much faster to see the photo. 5 with learning support. Make it 7, split the difference. Okay. 5 is a nice bonus. Okay, that's great. Gee, I'm amazed that we're all on the same wavelength. Yeah, at that point, Peter, you're right. I mean, the kid is outstanding. They've improved 45 times. What do you want? Cut them a little break. And when they get to 5, then they get to the next level up. So every once in a while you have a photo level. Maybe you put a little camera by some of the levels indicating that's a photo level. You guys play around with it. I'm sure you're going to come up with something way better than anything I've ever dreamed up, because your creativity is in the classroom. I'm just retired now. I just sit back. Let me show you what I do. Let me show you, give me a picture of retirement. This is a picture of retirement. See, that's it. That's all I do. Just sit around, hands behind my head. Once in a while I do a little typing. Yeah, but you're in the trenches. Let's look at our next slide here. Yes, Deirdre, I am rubbing it in. When is the photo level? I would say after about 3 or 4 colors. Don't even tell them the photo level is coming. All right, step 3. After about the 4th color code, make every other level a 5-star photo bonus level, or tweak the game as you wish. Remember, it's your classroom. So get out there and experiment. Experiment. Get on the forum. Tell us what's happening. Share your wisdom. There may be just one good way to do it, but probably not. Probably this is a system that you can adjust for the needs of your particular set of learners. Well, Mr. Franklin says the photo idea is super keno. You can tie it into super helpers. In fact, just hold that thought for a second, Rand Rayner. But wait, it gets better. Can you believe that? It gets better. Heather in Palmdale, you think you've seen the super improvers? You've never seen this, Heather in Palmdale. Check this out. Why don't you name the levels? Give me a, name the levels. Let's do a fish theme. Tadpole, minnow, goldfish, speckled trout, Doitsu koi. Go look up Doitsu koi. Man, they're beautiful fish. Giant sea bass, swordfish, shark, dolphin, blue whale. Naming the levels makes it even more engaging. Can you dig that? Kids would really dig moving up. I'm a goldfish, but soon I'll be a speckled trout. Ho, ho, ho. All right, don't use fish. Tell me something else you could use that would name the levels that the kids would really dig. You could tie it into your themes. Eileen Benjamin, tell me. Birds, yes. You could go up to the eagle. Forest food chain, yes, Jesse. Planets and moons. Dinosaurs, oh, they dig dinosaurs. Sports themes, literary characters, video game characters, a jungle theme. Yes, flip-flop gal. They'd want to be the top banana. How does this work with high school students? Maybe you don't use tadpole and minnow with high school students. Just keep the color coding. Standard-based, food chain, planets. In the 50s, songs of the 50s. Whatever you want, my friends. But you know what? Camping theme, forest animals, food chain is fun. M&Ms, maybe the names of the candies? Southern teacher, get away from the sweets, my friend. Trying to get away from the sweets with the kids. My theme is rock stars. That could be interesting. Periodic elements, yeah. Gold, perhaps, is the top one, Alisong. But wait, it gets better. You think I made just one of these slides with my crayons? No, I made a bunch of them. Here's it gets better. After a few levels, give improving students leadership privileges. On your cue, a class could say, class or mirror or mighty oh yeah. All right, so let's have a little summary here. Look at me. So we got super improvers. We want to reward for anything and everything. Eventually, we want to focus in perhaps on a few things that are really important to us. I think one of the most important things to focus in on is how fast can you read those 100 sight words? How quickly can you get all of the addition problems in super speed math? But that's just my bias. Now, you focus in, and then you have the color code. When the kid gets 10 stars, they move up a color. After about 4, you have a photo level. You take the photo, they need 5 stars to move up one more. And you want to really juice it up, name the colors so that there's an emotional visual attachment. It isn't just red, it's a Doitsu koi, which they've never seen before. Take a look at that Doitsu koi. You could do just koi. Man, those koi are gorgeous. Oh, Barb, you're late, aren't you? Now, you know what? I can't believe it myself. I don't even know what I'm talking about here, but it gets better one more time. Well, remember what I just said. When the kids start doing good, make them student leaders. Let's go back to that student leaders point. So after about 3 or 4, lots of improvements, they've got 40 or 50 improvements, say, you today get to be the class yes person. I point at you, you say class, everyone else says yes. You get to be the mighty oh yeah person. When I do the mighty oh yeah on the board, I want a loud one. Oh yeah, and I want to hear you be the loudest. You're the mighty groan person. You're the papers person. Student leaders link to super improvers, but you just get to be a leader for one day, and then we keep shifting. So we're building student leadership the whole time. We're building super improving. And what should we build student leadership on? Personal improvement. Yeah, not just the goody good kids. I mean, we want them. We give them improvement. They get to be student leaders, but everybody gets a chance. That's the American way. We all get a chance. All right, so I'm saying it gets better one more time. I'll tell you how it gets better one more time, my friends. If you use the Whole Brain Teaching's universal homework model, which was in the first broadcast, then students are continuously trying to break super speed records, which means more stars on the super improver's wall. So go back and look at the universal homework model. So kids can be working at home to break personal records that they get rewarded for in class. Wow! Here's our summary. I'll go slow. The Super Improvers Wall rewards students for personal record breaking in any classroom activity. Using a color code, an enormous number of improvements can be recorded for each child. Taking a student's picture is a powerful motivator for continuous advancement. Naming the color level may increase student engagement. I'm pretty sure it will. Breaking personal records in super speed games unites the Super Improvers Wall with the universal homework model. Look at that, a previous broadcast. Advancement on the wall can be tied to developing student leadership. Huge point coming next. Before we get to that huge point, I'm going on camera now. Ask me some questions. I know it takes a while to type them in. Any questions that you got? Please pay attention to the people in red. They're the ones who have the most experience with whole brain teaching. We'll take some questions. Yes. No, Brian Butera. You see how quickly they can read those 400 words. That's at home. Or pick your most important 75. So they read the 400 words in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. Can they cut it to 3 minutes and 30 seconds? A 400-word list is a fantastic core list to increase your speed on. Why do we want them to read it faster? So they hear it, and then when you talk about, for example, the ventricle of the heart, they've heard it 20 times. Any questions? Yes, we do come to do teacher training, but here's the hard part. We need an invitation. Isn't that weird? We don't just go anywhere. We need an invitation. Get a principal in a headlock, give him a noogie, get that principal to send me an invitation, and we'll talk about it. Yes, Brian, very good. Any other questions? You know, I would say give them those first 100 for homework. Reading those 100 words faster and faster is going to help the kids in all their reading. You know, not necessarily EduCarp. It depends upon, I think 400 words is kind of the upper limit. I mean, how many words are you really going to be able to teach kids the meaning of in a year? 400 is way, way out there. I would say actually 100 to 200 words. If you really want them to know those words, you need to change them into power picks, put them up on the wall. But if this is just vocabulary you're going to be using a lot, 300-400, that's plenty. Logistics of managing 50 names on this board, that's, you need a lot of area with little signs. Super speed one, that's a lot per kid. Well, you know what I do is I would do, you could print super speed a little bit smaller. You could project it on the wall. You could just use a subset of the SuperSpeed 1000 words. Thanks, Joni B. Use the parents to make copies. Put it in a bound notebook. You could use a trifold board, Goncalves, yes. Right, they have to be able to review this stuff orally. It has to be up there. Yes, Flip-Flop Gal. You know, folks, you're spending a lot of money on candy, on erasers, on lottery tickets. You don't have to buy any of that stuff anymore. Just get the stuff Xerox, get it in protective folders so you can use it year after year. 78 viewers, Goncalves. The videos are available at YouTube. Well, folks, you're doing a great job, but remember I told you that there was a huge point coming up next. I think you've got a feeling about what that huge point might be. Here's another amazing job with a crayon. Rewarding for improvement should be our #1 teaching goal. I'll say it again. Rewarding for improvement should be our #1 teaching goal. Anybody out there agree with me? Just give me a yes. If you disagree with me, give me a yes anyway. Don't you think that's crucial? Yes. Biffle for president. Okay. Oh, yes. Are we all on the same board or what? Are you guys all from Yucaipa? Sharon 40, you're at a yup. Yeah, that should be our goal. And Super Improvers Wall is going to, that's the only fair thing. Reward for improvement. Yes, Buzzley. Now here, I'm going to make a little speech, folks. This is my speech for president. I'm just running on the Super Improvers Wall platform. Here's my speech. Rewarding for improvement removes the grade-based caste system. Isn't that a nasty thing? There's a caste system which puts our intellectually weakest students at the bottom of academia society. You know those students, you see their faces, they know they're in a race that they can't win, and all the joyful kid life drains out of their faces as soon as they get the idea about grades. Why should I run hard? I can never beat that other kid. Yeah, grade-based caste system. It's perfectly differentiated because every student has an individualized goal. And that's the beauty of the Super Improvers Wall. It motivates every child, no matter their academic ability. It teaches every student one of life's most energizing lessons. I am a personal record breaker, and it's stinking fun. Tell me if you're buying into this Super Improvers Wall, if you're thinking, gosh, maybe I could make some room to reward for personal improvement. What are you thinking? I'll just read some of these. You know, you decide on what the goal should be, Flip-Flop Gal. You saw the smile today, did you, Palmdale Heather? You love it? Oh, yeah. Oh, sweet mama, I love it. You're sold, says first and third. Absolutely. This is great. It's what every teacher, principal, and student would want. That's right, Susan Floyd. And imagine the shock of a kid who always wins. He might be surprised to lose sometimes. Oh, wouldn't that be a wake-up call? You don't get to win automatically. You're racing against yourself. Oh, no, you're racing against yourself. You really got to push it, baby. That's right, and kids love it. All right, my friends, let's talk about professional development credit. Here's our screen. Mrs. Connerly has this question. Gosh, the Super Improvers Wall sounds great. But how could I get professional development credit for this broadcast and a copy of these slides? Some of you want professional development credit. Some of you want a copy of the slides because maybe you forgot a little bit. Is there any way you could get both? Oh, I wonder if there is. Pay attention now. Go to wholebrainteaching.com. You know where that is. Click on the PayPal button and donate $5.03. 503 is the code number for this program. So when I get the donation that says 503, I send you a link, and the link contains the slides you're seeing here and the professional development certificate you'll see in a second. Within a day, usually less, you'll get an email with a professional development certificate and a PDF copy of these slides. And guess what, my friends? These slides right here, these are the ones you're going to get. And you're going to get this certificate. Look at the certificate. This certifies that, put in your name, completed a Whole Brain Teaching 1-hour web seminar, Super Improvers, at wholebrainteaching.com. Now, you've got to add some more. Notice at the bottom it says page 2 of this document must be completed. So you don't just turn it in, you say some stuff about it so that the district knows you actually watched the program. You watched the seminar on a certain date and place. The main topics covered in Super Improvers were, put it in, most useful information was, and there's your proof of professional development for $5.03. And you get all the slides. It's whole brain teaching. If it isn't free or almost free, and if it isn't fun, it's not whole brain teaching. All right, my friends, got any questions for me? I'm going back to full screen. That was our program. Ask me a little bit. Well, I have the Saturday seminars again. You know, it turns out that Tuesday after school is a better time for most people than Saturdays. Any other questions? I'm going to keep going on the Tuesday. Every Tuesday at this time, I'm going to broadcast. I found out that even if I go to Palmdale, I can broadcast in the Oxford Suites. Wherever I can get Wi-Fi. Pretty much anywhere now, every Tuesday. Any more questions, my friends? Next week's topic, that's a great question. Next week's topic is the Genius Ladder. The Genius Ladder is so easy, so powerful, it works K to 14 and develops writing skills like you wouldn't believe, especially focused on tightly focused paragraphs and topic sentences. Genius Ladder. Next week, you're going to love it. Week after that, the 5-step whole brain teaching template. We've only got about 40 or 50 or 60 things to cover. I think we've got a year's material here. What do you think? Get on the phone. Tell people, hey, the broadcasts are free. Let's get together and really build this internet electronic community. Any more questions? Can't wait for the Genius Ladder. That's right, Joni B. It's going to be so useful for you and your kids. Next Tuesday night, same time, same place. I'd start using the Super Improvers right away. That's right, Svetlana. Can you get the PD and slides for... Yes, you can. You want the previous? Go to the same place you're viewing these. At the bottom, there's the oral writing and the universal homework model. Click on those videos. It's online now. 24/7 you can get the professional development credit and the PD. Just type in the right code. Now the code for the universal homework model is 501. So you send me $5.01. The code for oral writing is 502. Send me $5.02. The code for Super Improvers is 503. That's how I know from PayPal what you want. Any more questions? When are you coming to Roosevelt in Indio? I'm coming to Roosevelt in Indio before very long, probably in a couple of weeks. But you know, October 15th we have a conference down in Indio. I'll be at Roosevelt before that. And Eileen Benjamin, I'm coming to your classroom. All I'm going to do is just teach your kids all day long. Uh-oh, you've got it on tape. Please erase that part. But Eileen, I will come by your classroom. Thank you, Budsley. What's the Wacky Star Fun button? You know what? You got to tune in to the oral writing program to find out about the Wacky Star. What's the code for Brain Toys? We have not given a Brain Toys broadcast yet. So we've only had 2. This is the 3rd one. Coming to Texas anytime soon? I think I might be back in San Antonio. Check the calendar. Yes, Eileen, I bet you will. When and where do you do live seminars? DK Wade, check the calendar at wholebrainteaching.com. Get your administrator in a headlock, give him a noogie, get him to send me an email. How you contact me? go to wholebrainteaching.com, go to Contact Us in the upper left-hand corner, just send me an email. Thanks for posting on FB. That's how I jumped here. Great holiday. You're in San Antonio, Texas teacher. I was in San Antonio too. How did we miss each other? Oh no. Peter Ramos, get him to send me an email. That principal might know how to send emails. Tell you what though, we do charge when you come to schools. We broadcast free. But your school is paying for professional development, or they're paying for consultants. We come. We're consultants. Can you come to Egypt one day? I'd love to come to Egypt. Get a principal, put him in a headlock. If you do that in Egypt, give him a noogie, and send us an invitation. Can't wait to see you in Texas. That's right, Allison. It's only PayPal, I'm sorry, Going Common. That's all that we can accept right now. All right, folks, I'm signing off. Thank you so much. You can keep the conversation going. We'll see you next Tuesday with the Genius Ladder. Oh, yeah.